What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna be speaking on the topic of knowing your place, right? And I know this can come off as kind of negative sometimes, right? Depends on how you look at it. Life's all about aspects, right? Knowing your place in different situations can and will get you out of a lot of situations and also allow you to avoid a lot of situations, right? But more importantly, it allows you for you to know where you are in life and be able to make substantial efforts or steps, I should say, into bettering yourselves, right? Now, life is not necessarily about certain objects that we obtain because of financial gain, but it's more about improvement, as we all know, right? So I do want to speak on this topic because I do feel like when you know your place and you know your weaknesses, you know your strengths, it does give you a leverage in life, you know. Of course, this is disregarding the egotistic mind, which we all have, no matter who we are or who we become. We will always have that egotistic mind, which is why they say yourself is your biggest opponent, right? Knowing your place, if you look at a financial point of view, of course, not obviously, but of course, when you come down to situations of any type of um, thing you want to obtain, such as an apartment or a car payment, things like that, you of course got to look at the resources that you have. So we can apply that same financial standpoint to your life, right? Knowing who you are, what you're willing to learn, what you're willing to put your time in. This is why a lot of people tend to stay at jobs that they typically dislike because they don't really want to recognize their true situation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't necessarily have to work. A lot of people don't necessarily like if you, especially in a relationship, you guys, if one party makes the majority, you can work it out where one party stays home and one party works, or just to a point where the other party can start their own business or their own situation and the other party can break from that, and then you guys can work together, if that makes sense to you guys. What I'm saying is, not a lot of situations, well, a lot of situations we go off of what we want versus what we have. If had we gone off of what we have, we can make a lot better decisions. Just like if you guys look at it and say, okay, I'm got X amount of hours in my day that I can, because we can all make decisions on how less we can sleep. We probably can't make decisions on how less of work, less of time we gotta put into our everyday life or our everyday work schedule. But we can make choices on how long we spend on our phones and things like that. So just understanding who you are and where you stand at in your life in your 24 hours will allow you to make better choices in the future, right? It'll also allow you to plan, right? As I said before, when it comes down to finances, I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily look at their lives. They just look at what they could have. Like I know people that were rather, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I mean, people's gonna do what they do, but then it kind of, it's a for them, it's a shocking experience to see somebody doing something else. Like, okay, for an example, um, I know people that they don't necessarily have to both work, you know what I'm saying? But one of them would give up their paycheck to watch the kid, right? And in my head, I'm thinking, well, they can definitely one of them can definitely afford to pay all of the situations while one stays home with the kid and maybe starts their business or else, online or whatever the case is, and then they can venture off. But that's where the idea of if two parties work, I'm not a financial advisor, but this is where I say we gotta look at where we stand at, because if money is used to pay situations, or money is only important if money only matters if it's used to pay something. If money just sits there and rots away, it's like useless unless you use it to pay something, right? Just like clothes in your closet. If you don't wear your clothes, they're typically useless, right? Something's not being used is useless. Um, but if money's for the bills and you have enough to cover the bills for one paycheck, I feel, that's just my opinion, that it's a lot easier to break away from, the system that has, feels like two parties should work. And I know it comes off like very different, but again, it's aspects in life, but these are the same people that will look at somebody else that does something different and wonder why, because it's aspects. We gotta know where we stand. Decisions I've made in my life, I've looked at where I stood at, And okay, for an example, I'll give you guys an example real quick before I go. When it comes on to making financial choices, I ask myself if I can afford it, right? If no, it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about a home or a place to stay, that is one of your biggest priorities. Because I mean, let's be honest, right? Um, you can always you can okay, you can what I'm trying to say is this, right? You can change how your households runs, right? You can be flexible. Let's just be honest. You can be flexible with your electricity bill and things like that and whatnot. But an apartment is like a building for like a business. Depend on how value you seek it. And this is where is a lot of things where we gotta start to look at life differently. Like, and it's not really hard for me to explain to you guys, but it's almost like I wish I could just like video, like have a video visual. What I'm just trying to show you guys is aspects in life. If you have $2,000, right, and let's say an apartment costs 1,500, and you have 300 or so for your bills, and let's say after everything you're left with $200, but that $200 covers all your extra stuff, and maybe you might just be living paycheck to paycheck, but at least you're living. At least you got all the things you want. At least you got the apartment you want. Because I see a lot of people, they save for, they rather go lower than their standard save and have this money just sitting in your account and it's not doing enough. And that's okay. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. But we gotta also live a little bit, because I promise you, the person that's the least stressful is making a lot better choices in life. Is making a lot of better moves and things like that. Because number one, we're not guaranteed life anyway. So you're better off just living it. But I just want to give you guys that encouragement. Just try not to just think what everybody else is doing, and try to look at your life and look at your viewpoints and try to give different aspects on life. I'm not saying something's right. I'm not saying something's wrong, but I see a lot of times where people go for what other people believe and what other people think, and we gotta start to look at our own lives, like your specific life. If you feel like it's the right choice, I advise you guys to make the choice. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's cutting close to it or whatever the case is, it doesn't matter, because you still gotta live your life. You don't know what kind of, because remember, it's aspects, it's decisions we make. If you're in a less stressful environment because you decided to give up there's sneakers like that, you have less money to buy new sneakers and stuff, of course, but you limited that, or you limit your going out time for a comfortable environment. You know what I'm saying? Or you limited something. You gave up something for a bad environment. This allows you to think. Excuse me. This allows you to think. This allows you to maneuver better, and it brings better choices. It brings a lot more peaceful, just a lot more things. So let me know your thoughts on aspects in life, um, as far as decision making. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hopefully, I was transparent. It's not enough for you guys to understand that I like to throw a lot of things out there, because I feel like it's all about the aspects, and that is for sure what makes us who we are today. Every decision we make, right? So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. If you enjoyed this video, I will hopefully I can do an update on this video when I can give more clarity. But right now, that's something I thought about and I want to get on and share with you guys. So stay tuned for the next video.